All right, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while. Well, not a little while since I've been on the channel because I obviously did my diorama stream last week. But been a little while since we did a draw stream because the last time we did one, I think it was the razor or the dye bomb. And I kind of promised last week I was going to do more Predacons, but I just kind of felt like doing another diorama stream last week. I had, because I was just like, I have the paints, I have the tools here. Like this Ariel bought one, probably won't take too long. So I was like, what, might as well just do a whole stream of that. So I did like I think 3 or 4 streams of working on that diorama. So it was a lot of fun. I always love doing the diorama streams. It's always a lot of fun. And it turned out pretty good actually. And I'm still waiting for the palm trees actually to come in so they can actually finish off that diorama and I can do a better video showcase. Now I might just do that entirely for all the shells actually, at least the ones that are not complete, because I think that's kind of a we'll see because a lot of times I'm just waiting for stuff to come in or things to come out. But one thing to kind of note, the Etsy shop just got some new stuff there. I just got these coasters in the mail a few days ago. The Grimlock and Prime / Megatron yin and yang symbols. So I got 9 in the shop. And so, yeah. So if you really like these pieces of artwork that I've done, you might want to check that out. And I actually really love the Prime and Megatron a little bit more. Actually, it looks really cool. Yeah, it does have a little bit of sentimental value to me because it was one of my first streams I did on this channel. It's actually this is actually watercolor painting actually when I did this. So yeah, I thought it was really cool at the time and still think it's cool. So, and it's obviously meant to be blue and red because it's meant to be their eye colors. So it's kind of like a lighting sort of a effect here. So that was kind of the whole point of it at the time. But yeah, so there's the Prime, there's obviously the Grimlock one, which this one's kind of interesting because it kind of gives me an idea of how the die cut stickers will look a little bit because of the because like if you see that I have the stickers here, it's a bit more vibrant with the white background as opposed to because I think that the holograph kind of the silver kind of like not takes away, but it's not nearly as vibrant as I would like it to be. Yeah, it's kind of it is what it is. But yeah, so if you want the coasters here, I think it's going to be that's probably going to be how I do the die cut stickers in the future, or stickers in the future. I'll probably do die cut. I still like the holographs, but I think I like the idea of doing the die cut more. But we'll test that out once we get the Predacons going. And then if I ever want to do a second run of the Dinobots, I'll probably do the same thing with that. So, but yeah, I just want to show that off real quick. We had the Prime and Megatron and then Grimlocks. They're all up on my Etsy shop if you want to buy them. Like I said, there's 9 available. So if you desire, and I also have the stickers as well. This is actually one of the bundle sets. So there's actually 3 of them right now. So I keep them all in this little container. So there's 3 bundles of the full set of Dinobots. So, and then I have the other bundles, which are the War of the Dinobots 2-pack, which comes with Swoop and Snarl. And there's going to be 4 of those on the site. And then there's 3 sets of the SOS Dinobots 3-pack, which is Slag, Grimlock, and Sludge. So there's 3 of those, and so yeah, that's kind of how I'm rolling with the stickers here. And yeah, that's about it. Just a little bit of a shilling moment. So, but yeah, let's get right into it with Rampage here. Got me like a little bit of a fighting stance, giving a bit more of a fierce sort of appearance, But yeah, let's get to it. So this one's going to be hopefully this will be a pretty easy one to do because it's going to be very, very well. They're all the colors are going to be in the same sort of color family, like the reds and orange and yellows. So, and I think we'll start with the let's see. I try to start with the more dominant colors, and I think I'm going to start with the orange. Yeah, Seems like there's more orange on him than there is of any other colors, so we'll do that. And we'll start with this guy, I think. Yeah. It's kind of almost a salmon orange. So it's kind of like a lighter sort of a shade. Markers all pushed up. I'll grab this guy. This guy. Nope. Yeah, I can start with that. All right, start with the YRO2. Yeah. And okay, just trying to look at his design. Sort of the torso. I have kind of discovered that the Predacons are kind of goofier characters to kind of draw. They have really, really goofy designs. I kind of realized, you know, there's, especially like with Rampage, his thighs are so goofy looking. Like these big, chunky cylinder bits or whatever. I'm just like, all right. So it's kind of a challenge to kind of do that one, but we'll make it work. So it's that, and then the forearms. So we'll kind of map out all the orange bits first. And then, okay, it's just going to be this guy here. It's weird. It's really inconsistent too, because there's a little blip here on this side, but it's nowhere to be seen on this side. So I'm just like, what the hell is this? Okay. It kind of gives me hope, or makes me hope that they do a more stylized, not stylized, but when it comes to if they ever do a third party, when the third party companies does a Predacon set, kind of wouldn't mind them doing a little bit of stylization. Because the Predacons look a little goofy, I'm not gonna lie. Cool characters, you know, but a little bit goofy in the old cartoon. From a design point of view. It's kind of the reason why I'm kind of leaning more towards going after the Kang Toys ones. Because the only one that really was the one that was putting me off the most was Razor Claw, but it's starting to grow on me a little bit, that one anyways. But the better half of me is telling me to just wait for Fans Toys to come out with the set. Because I just know that they're going to have like an amazing like paint job, you know. It's kind of like Fans Toys sort of thing, is they always have really good paint jobs, and I just imagine having like a Razor Claw or a Predaking with like gold and all that, like for the main and stuff like that. It's just like, oh yeah. But they seem more interested in doing season 1 and 2 right now, so I'm not too sure how long we're gonna wait for that. So I'm just like, it's like. Now, hopefully, Bingo Toys, with their Technobots coming out, maybe they'll be inspired to do some more Season 3 combiners with their Technobot set. Because everyone else is going to be doing Season 1 and 2 for the most part, I think. Because X-Transbots is definitely going to be sticking to a season 3 and season 2 and 1 and 2 because I think that Mike on Comic Crusader, he said that they're probably going to be doing Superion or Bruticus next, just because Keith wants to finish off their season 1 and 2 combiners before moving on to season 3 and 4. So, which is kind of a bummer because I really want to see season 3 and 4 get some love, but it is what it is. Just gonna gotta get over it and get used to it. All right. Is that a little bit of a shadow here? I'll map that out. So brighten my blender just in case. But actually, they showed off the X-Transbot showed off their scavenger yesterday, I think. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. And it makes me kind of happy that I kind of went with the X-Transbots as opposed to Fans Toys or MC. Although MC looks pretty good actually. Theirs actually looks pretty solid, but I kind of just like the aesthetics of the Fans or the X-Transbots best on them. So it kind of makes me happy that the whole set's kind of starting to shape up a bit more. Gives me a bit more confidence. Excuse me. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to stream this weekend, actually, because I had a shift planned for this week, but I canceled, so I get to hang out with you guys. All right. Oh, Onslaught. Hold on. My package is on the way. I think Onslaught's going to come probably this week. Being detained. Oh no. All my toys get detained for some reason. Up there. But it shouldn't be an issue. That was get released. Oh, bad boys. Bad boys. Was in trouble up there. But it should be out probably I'll assume Wednesday. Wednesday or Thursday will probably when they arrive. Maybe sooner. Yeah, it will be really nice to have Onslaught in because it'll give me a bit more confidence to start doing the Constructicon diorama because I have to kind of make sure that Onslaught fits properly. But I think that he will because he doesn't look that big, so to speak. And some people kind of complained about the size of Onslaught because he's a little bit shorter than like the Fans Toys Motormaster, which doesn't really bother me much. Like my main concern is whether or not the actual team looks good on their own. As long as it's a reasonable size for Onslaught, like, and it is. He's about the same height as Prime. That's good enough for me. You know, and I've seen pictures of him next to Motormaster. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a difference. Like it's like a head taller, head shorter than Motormaster. It's not a big deal at all. And my main concern, obviously, is making sure that the team itself looks good, because that's where they're going to be for the most part, you know. So as long as that whole crew looks good, that's all that matters. Because the chances of me displaying the Combaticons with the other teams are, it's not going to be very frequent. So yeah, and size actually, you know, make sure that size is a big deal for a lot of people when it comes to collecting. So sometimes it's going to be a big deal breaker. That's kind of true for me as well to a certain extent, but there's some things I can kind of let slide. It depends on my priorities at the time. Like for example, the Unicron I have actually it's a lot shorter than the combiners, but because I have them on a separate shelf and I never would ever display him with the combiner. Because Unicron is on a shelf, it's not a big deal to me at all. So. This guy needs a refill. Move my piece out of the way, so to speak. Pull out the chiseled side and dump her in. I don't know why this one's drying up though. I don't really use it as much, but I don't know, maybe it did. Didn't realize. There we go. Just put the chiseled side a little bit. And then put you away. And just test them out and make sure he's not oozing out anything. Last thing I need is a big blotch of this thing. Yeah, I think I did draw the shoulder pads on him a little bit wrong, but a little too late for me to kind of change things up, and it's not that big of a deal. It has the same sort of shape, so and it's CHIBI style, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be interesting though when I actually get to actually drawing these guys in the comic book, which is what kind of inspired these stickers here actually. Because I'm working on a little fan comic. It's not going to be anything I publish, obviously, because I can't without getting sued up the ass. But it's a story I always want to tell, and it'll kind of be a way for me to kind of practice doing sequential art, because it's one thing I really need to kind of like focus on a bit more. Because it's one thing to do a really nice sort of a portrait piece, but it's a completely different thing knowing how to tell a story with your art, you know. It's very, very important sort of a thing to kind of learn. Okay. Some shadows here. I think we'll do warm gray. Here, we'll do a 5. Start with a 5, they'll build up. I think we will do the red highlights on the legs or on the black areas again. So I really like the effect that had on Dive Bomb and Razor Claw. And I'll probably carry that same sort of idea over into the comic book. I think it's a really cool look for the Predacons. Just kind of adds a bit of a primal sort of a vibe to them, you know. I think that's going to be the title of the book, you know, Transformers Primal, you know, something like that. Or something similar to that, who knows. Primal Hunt. Still working on it. But I do really love the story, like the ideas I have for it. You know, it's really, I think it's going to be something that's really, really good. A lot of people, if you're a really big fan, will really love it. So, to your live stream, how are you doing, you bastard? Doing good. Just working on Rampage. on a rampage today. How you doing, Stig? Good to see you. Just kind of talking about the comic book a little bit, or web comics. Maybe more of a web comic. Something. So I can't really do a Transformers without getting sued, but you know, I want to tell a story, and I need to practice sequential art, and which is like just telling a story but with your artwork. So I just think it's a really cool idea. You know, top 5 Transformers. Gosh, there's so many. You'll answer immediately. All right. Oh, I like Grimlock. I like Ironhide. I like Prime. I like Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, Predaking, Ultra Magnus, Ratchet, Jazz, Prowl. Like, I think they're all my favorites, to be honest. There's only a few characters I don't really have much love for. Yeah, like an easier one to make for would be actually which ones I don't like. Which would probably be like Hopper. Like Hopper's kind of annoying, just an asshole. Wheelie's kind of annoying. Blur was kind of annoying, but he had a cool ability, you know, at the very least. Like the idea of a Transformer with a super speed is actually kind of cool. Actually kind of did a lot of really cool things with that in the Transformers animated cartoon, actually a lot more. But I'm not sure if I really have a favorite. Like it's like I love them all. You know, it's like yeah, some more than others, obviously, but yeah. Love Shockwave, love Devastator, I love the aerial bots, Protectobots, Combaticons, Stunticons. Yeah, it's plenty I really love. Now, so you got the 86 movie cast, so like Hot Rod and all that. RC, Springer. Springer was always cool to make. He was kind of like the Han Solo of the crew there. You know, it's kind of a swashbuckling almost sort of vibe. Kind of like scoundrel almost. A lot of similarities actually in the 86 movie to like Star Wars, like it's similar sort of vibe. Yeah. Oh, Astro Train. Yep, definitely Astro Train. Yeah. Blitzwing was always cool to me as well. I always loved Blitzwing. She also got like Triptychon, Omega Supreme. You know, there's so many fucking characters. Like, it's really sad how little they've actually done with Transformers in the movies and stuff like that. There's so many characters that people don't even know about that haven't been, you know, brought to live action. But maybe it's probably a good thing because they've never really been too hot with the live action stuff. But but they might be able to do some of that with the animated stuff. Like, even though I wasn't really a big fan of the Transformers 1 movie, just from a story perspective, just it wasn't really in a world building perspective. I just felt like it kind of lacked. But I think the idea is there though, because I think there's a lot you can really get out of an animated film, you know, as opposed to live action. Because like if you saw that movie, it's like there's a whole bunch of characters in that film, like. You know, like that's probably the best part about that film to me personally, is because it's like I was able to kind of point out different characters in the backgrounds and stuff like that. It's like, oh, there's Smokescreen, there's Prowl, there's Ratchet, there's Wheeljack, you know. And so it's like you probably get a lot more characters. And I think that Transformers works better as a whole ensemble cast, where you have just hundreds of different characters from different worlds, you know. Use all the kinds of human terminology, even if it takes place before humans even existed. Yeah. Actually, one of the things I really disliked about the film was that it felt small. Like the world felt small because it's like they only ever show Iacon, and in Cybertron, there's multiple cities. There's Kaon, there's Polyhex, there's Tiger Packs. There's so many different locations on Cybertron and on the colony worlds. There's a bunch of different colony worlds like Velocitron, Caminus. All these different places that never really get mentioned or explored or what have you. There's like so many different locations on Cybertron. It feels too condensed. It feels like too small of a world, and it's not a small world. Like Cybertron's a big environment, and so it kind of feels small when we only show Iacon, and it's like, well, what's the rest of Cybertron like? Like, is it the same as Iacon? You know what I mean? It's like, like you never really know. And now maybe that could be explored in the sequel to the movie, but I don't know. Also, I just don't like the fact that they made Megatron a youngster. He's like so much younger than like the other bots. Like he's like younger than Starscream of all people. It's like Megatron's supposed to have a lot more age on a lot of characters. He's like supposed to be very significantly like older than Prime was. Like if you go back to the original origin story for Prime and Megatron, like he was like significantly older. Like he's the whole idea is that because like the whole idea to me was that he had a lot of like experience and all that, and so that's what kind of made him a more of a formidable foe. Because like obviously in the cartoon, I think Prime was a little bit stronger than Megatron, but it was Megatron's experience and his tactical knowledge that kind of gave him that extra edge over him in a lot of areas. And most iterations of the franchise have him as a lot older than Prime. It's just like he's a little bit too young here for me. So. And I thought it was a good film on its own. For what they were going for, it's just that what they were going for wasn't really. Like, I felt like it was kind of lacking a few areas, like to be a good like Transformers like movie, But I think the idea there is there, like I think they're the right sort of idea. You can do animation because then you have a bunch of characters you can do. You can do a lot more with the environment. The Transformers kind of live in. Because like in hindsight, that's probably how I would do that. With the characters, with Transformers anyway, is like with the films, it's like, yeah, just do animation because it's like yeah, you can only get so many characters in the films, like with live action budget, But with animation, you can get a whole lot of characters in. You get a whole cast of characters. You can make the world feel bigger and more alive and all that, because there's a whole bunch of characters in the Transformers universe, and I don't know, a lot of stuff that they can really explore if they wanted to. Oh, Blaster, yeah, Blaster really got to shine in the '80s comics, yeah. Ratchet too. Like Ratchet was no joke in the comics. Like he went toe to toe with Megatron in the a few comics. There's actually that one comic where they got merged together, like some sort of like Frankenstein thing, like because I think they went through like a space bridge or something like that. At the same time, they kind of fucked them up. So they kind of merged together for a bit. It was like, what the fuck is going on? But so I like to see Hasbro do a toy of that. That'd be nuts. But yeah. One thing I also had a problem with that all the Autobots had the same sort of backstory. They were all like miners and stuff like that. It's just like, it's like, why not actually play along with like the Autobots like personalities from the cartoon? Like, Hound, for instance, he had the power to be, he had the ability to create like holograms and stuff like that. Why wouldn't you do a story or make it to where he was a hologram engineer or something like that back in the day or something, like make that an interesting sort of story for him? Like, no, it's like not everyone's a miner, everyone's a working class. It's like, well, what about Wheeljack? He was a scientist, he was an engineer and all that. Like, why not have him? Like, why does he work in the mines when he should be in a workshop somewhere designing shit? It's like, Or why isn't Prowl part of the police academy or whatever on Cybertron, like the elite guard or whatever? You know, it's like there's a lot of different things they can be doing with the characters, like, and just make it just feels like it just feels small. Like I said, it's like it just makes them feel, you know. Yeah, one of my favorite comic books actually, it was from IDW. It was a Blur one shot actually, and it was kind of an interesting sort of story because it actually told the story of. So it was like right at the very cusp of the war for Cybertron, right when the Autobot Decepticon war was starting out, and it was really cool because there's like this one scene where you have Starscream kind of approaching Blur in like a bar or something like that, and he's like trying to get him to join the Decepticons, and it's like there's like something cool here because like you see because he's like because in the IDW universe like Blur was kind of like a racer, you know. And so it was kind of interesting to kind of see where they came from, you know, before the war and all that. It's just like, I think there's a good story to kind of be told from that with all the other characters too. You know, it's like you show where they came from. Yeah, Five Days of Darkness. Yeah, that was a really good art. That was a really good story. Did the origin perfectly. Yeah, exactly. Like, because like the original G1 cartoon origin story is that it was the Quintessons. They were this kind of alien race that that inhabited Cybertron for a bit, and it was kind of like a factory planet almost. Like they were kind of using it as a factory to kind of create, you know, robots to kind of serve them and all that. They had the working class, which eventually became the Autobots, and then the warrior class, which became the Decepticons later on in life. So then they eventually like kind of rose up and kind of kicked the Quintessons' ass, kicked them out of the planet, and then they kind of started building a civilization, and then they started fighting again, or the Autobots and Decepticons started fighting each other. You know, that was like the original story, but they've kind of changed that over the years nowadays. So, which I don't really hate. I think it's okay. Where they kind of add to it a bit more with like the 13 primes and all that with Primus and Unicron, have all of them kind of have kind of a bit more to the story, but I do kind of like the original story as well. So, which I actually kind of like about this this YouTuber's name is Dr. Smooth. He's actually making a fan-made sort of animated project where it's kind of a where it's very, very G1, like very, very G1 inspired, like G1 origin and everything. You know, there's no like 13 primes, none of this stuff. It's just going back to the basics, going back to the original routes. And he's a really big YouTuber actually. Got a lot of connections because he actually has done a lot of work for Stan Bush, and he also even had like some of the original voice actors come back and voice some of the characters in the actual animated sort of fan film. They actually got the original voice for Bumblebee and Perceptor in the show in the series. So it's really, really cool what they're doing there. I get better shadows going on there. Let some of these other elements sort of pop out a bit more. There we go. I made Trilogy they did on Netflix. Yeah, it was okay. There's just a lot I didn't really like about the Netflix series. Just kind of very, very cynical sort of approach to Transformers. Like it's like didn't really have a whole the characters didn't really have a whole lot of personality. Like that was my main problem because it's like the thing with the Autobots is that they had a lot of personality in the original cartoon. You know, like they had all their own unique voices. You know, they had their own sort of opinions on things, and they had their own unique personality traits and all that. And it just kind of felt lacking in that a lot in that in that series. They all just kind of felt like very, very dull and very, very like cynical and all that. I was like, that was never really the Autobots to me. Like, to me, the whole point of the Autobots was that they were, even though they were in a dire situation, they always try to make the best of it. Like, that was kind of the whole thing. Yeah. And the best example of this really is actually the Fall Cybertron game, because in the level where you get to play as Jazz and Cliffjumper, like, this is a very, like, it's a very, very critical point in the war, but they're still having fun. They're still like cracking jokes, you know. They're, you know, they're not like totally down in the dumps, you know. They're, you know, it's like, no, they're actually still trying to have fun and actually enjoy their life, no matter how you know, serious it gets. You know, it's like, oh. Hey, Jedi Master 2022, the big ass name. How's it going, man? Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of things I didn't really like about the Netflix series. Had some good ideas, I think, but I just had a lot of issues with some of the characters and all that. There was some really cool like callbacks. So it was actually kind of cool to see the Beast War stuff mixed in with G1, and it actually kind of worked in this version. I think a lot more so than in the movie. Came out in 2023, I think. Just add a bit more shadows here. All right. Just gonna grab a drink real quick. All right, I think the orange is pretty much done. It's kind of like a weird sort of a shade of orange. It's kind of like a salmon, but we'll do the reds next. Yeah. All right, let's see. Crimson. Do this guy. Some darker reds here. And yeah. And then this guy. And I'll start off with a R29, so I can kind of map out the red bits. So it's going to be part of the helmet, the shoulders, the tiger head, and the thighs, and a little bit, yeah, and then the, yeah, see, this is what I mean by how Rampage has a weird ass design. Like, he has like these big cylinder things on his like legs up top here. It's like, what the hell is that? Then, yeah, one thing's for sure, he doesn't skip leg day. And I just missed some area here. Hold on. Oh, almost missed this little bit here. Let's check it out. Okay. But we'll start with the head here. All right. Okay. And then we'll do, oh, you know what? His hands are supposed to be orange too. The fuck? All right. We'll map out the red first, and we'll come back to it. Just noticed that. Missed the hands entirely. It might look cooler red. I don't know. But we'll stick to G1, the original design. It is goofy sometimes. All right. Then, okay, so thigh. Yeah, the whole bit's gonna be red. What? Did that wrong? It's fine though. Easy fix. So I realized there's a little bit black sort of a panel there, but I can be fixed easily. All right, let's do the hands before we move on. I just totally forgot that. Dummy. For some reason I thought it was a different color. I don't know why. I'm a dummy. But it should be an easy one to fix. Brown septic truck Autobahn name skid mark. Well, there is skids, so. It's not too far off. Actually, you know what? A monster truck transform would be kind of cool, actually. Like one that turns into a monster truck. That'd be fucking cool. Hey, Grumpy. Good to see you, man. We're back to the Predacons here today. So, and then we'll be halfway done, actually, because I have to do the Tantrum next, and then the Headstrong, and then we'll do Predaking, and then that will... And then we'll be able to send them off onto the Etsy shop, or send them off to the sticker place, and then get them put up on the Etsy shop. I'm trying to turn these guys into die cut stickers and sell them. So, I kind of meant to sort of ATV Autobot 2, perhaps. Not sure if one it's ever been done. There might have been at some point, but oh, I forgot the face on. Oh well, I forgot. Let's do some more grays. Oh wait, no, this guy. First and foremost, be quite a transformer. Yeah. Actually, more boats would be kind of cool. Actually, Transformers. They don't get not a whole lot of boat Transformers. Like a submarine would be kind of cool, or something like that. Good old jet ski squad. Actually, a storyline I always wanted to see kind of made into like an animation or something like that was Hearts of Steel. It was basically a timepiece where it was like with the Transformers came to Earth at during I think the 1800s or something like that, and they all turned into like steam engine like trains and stuff like that. Yeah. Always thought that was kind of a cool idea, but two really tiny ones turned to roller skates. Brown submarine called the Floater. Yeah. All right. His hands going. And then we'll do this. Fix it up. Yeah, that's why we're not doing a background here, because we're doing them as stickers, and a background just kind of complicate things. So, but these guys are actually gonna be the first time ones I try the die cut stickers on, because I have holograph stickers, and they're a little bit different because they're shiny ones, but kind of want to test out, trying to see if the die cut are a little bit better. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, once they're all done, I'll have them sent off to Sticker Meal. They'll send off my stickers, and the idea is going to be actually to make the Predaking one actually a little bit bigger than the other ones. Just kind of have a little more fun with it, All right, I think that's enough for the hand. Move back onto the reds here. So get the tiger head. Just gotta be careful of the eyes. All right, good enough. Not many boats in the first party, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was a battleship that was a broadside. And yeah, it's Sea Spray, Tidal Wave. I'm trying to think of any boat. Well, not boats, but we had sea icons actually as well, and some of the Japanese cartoons. So that'd be a really cool diorama to do. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. It'd be like an underwater sort of scene. That'd be kind of makes me want to go in on the TFC sea icons, but I don't have a spotlight out for them at the moment. Do not have enough space. At least not yet, because things could change around here. Not for now, of course, but when you do get the book done, keep in mind that publishers will make stickers for you in a package deal. May still beat them, so remember to shop around. Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't gotten actually an email or a confirmation from what's it called, the Nerd Crawler or whatever, the place where people sell their original art. Yeah, I have not been approved yet at all. So I think it's, I'm pretty sure that site that you want is for like pros and stuff more so than like fan artists. Either I just didn't make the cut for some reason, or the process just takes too long. Yeah. So I think that you have to be someone who's actually been published in the industry before you can do that. I'm not too sure though. It could just be taking a long time to do it because there might be a bunch of people trying to sell stuff there. So they say they give difference to pros on Nerdcrawler, yeah. But so I would like to sell some of my original artwork, you know. Yeah, it'd be nice to kind of free up some space around here. It does add up. Like, it does kind of take up space. So. But now that I have an onslaught on the way, actually, I'll actually be able to kind of get started on the Constructicon diorama next month, I think, because it was all kind of dependent on how big the onslaught ended up being from Magic Square, which is one I have on the way. Because if it was too big, then I would have to move up the shelves a bit, and then the problem with that would be like the Constructicons, they're big beefy bots too, so it'd be a very, very tight fit for them. So thankfully, I don't have to worry about that. I don't think, because because they just kind of reveal the size of it, and he's about the same height as like the Prime. So at least at the head. The main thing that was really worrying me was actually the big like cannons on his back. But I think that because he's not going to be as big as like as a Vance Toys Motormaster, I don't think he's going to be an issue for me. So I do have, and the shelf I have laid out for the Combaticons is pretty big, so I think it should be fine. And if it does have it become an issue, I can always pose them a certain way if I really need to. So yeah. Motormaster. Yeah. I'd love to see a Staedtler movie, to be honest. Or they're always one of the cooler combiner teams. Which, by the way, and speaking of the Staedtler, actually, I think the Dead End from Vance Toys is supposed to be coming out in, I think, June. So this is why TF movies need to be G1. Yeah. And I think animated too, I think that's one thing that they got right with the Transformers 1 movie, is that I think that the animation is the way to go, you know, for films of, because you can get a whole bunch of characters in the movie, you know. It's like you don't have to worry about making everything look realistic and all that. It's just like, no, just make it all look like the cartoon, you know. Or get the Studio Trigger guys to make a Transformers movie or cartoon series. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I think I'd rather that honestly. To be honest, like I'd love to see like Studio Trigger because the way they did the animation for like the G1 character specifically, like in that little short they did, like it was awesome. Like I was just like, dude, if they did a whole show of just that with like the G1 style, that would be fucking sick. Just make it like the G1 cartoon, but with a little bit extra fire to it. Like that's kind of how I view it. I was like, that was sick. I was just more of that, please. Well, I do see some people kind of complain about the onslaught because of how much smaller he is than, like, say, Motormaster. I actually saw pictures of the. I did see pictures of Motormaster with onslaught. It didn't really bother me as much. Like it was only like like it wasn't a significant like height difference on them. So it doesn't really bother me. And my main concern is whether or not the actual team on the shelf looks good together. And because most of the time I'm not going to be displaying onslaught with Motormaster. Unless I'm doing some sort of like photography or whatever, like which I kind of want to do at some point, but do not have the time. It's the time I don't have it. I'd like to do more photography in my figures though. Just a little hobby. If you do like a little counter, would be kind of cool actually. With that, maybe. We'll see. Drawing of Caden I was doing for Liam is almost done, but that armor is kicking my butt. Yeah. Or Brendan, yeah. And that'll happen. Armor can be a tricky thing to kind of pull off, especially if it's like really like intricately detailed and all that. All right, and we'll do a little bit of face. Just be a face, but ignore this part. Dug into the eye there a little bit. That's okay. No need to, but combiner teams need to scale properly as the biggest one of the early ones. Should be Devastator, then Minosaur, yeah. Cybertron number $12 a season on Negos. Ooh, nice. Hey, Conway, good to see you. My first customer on Etsy. Good to see you, man. Glad you're enjoying the stickers. And she just got the coasters put up on there, so I got these guys on hand. Got 9 of each of these up on there, so if y'all are interested, I got the link up on the top of the stream there, or the chat there. So we got 9 of those because I'm keeping 2. So I ordered 10 of each, but I'm keeping 2 of them for myself because they're just too cool. All right, let's see. Okay. Try a different red. I'll use crimson. There we go. But yeah, so the whole idea here is actually going to be the next stickers I do, the Predacons, because the whole idea is actually kind of came from my web comic idea, because I want to do a comic book or web series or whatever of kind of a meant to be sort of like a lost episode G1. It's kind of meant to be the first time we get introduced to the Predacons, and they're going to kind of be a rival for the Dinobots and Destroys. That's why I have Dinobots, now I have Predacons going here. So now I am going back and doing the script a little bit because I wanted to make sure I got the origin story for the Predacons right. It's been a little while since I saw the season 3 and 4, so I want to go back and make sure I got that right. And it a lot of like connections to that, like the Quintessence and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have a lot of that in the story as well of the little book there. And hopefully it makes sense because obviously it is going to be a story that takes place on Earth. It's going to be kind of taking place, kind of like in between season 3 and or the season 2 and the 86 movie. So that's kind of the whole idea. It's prints on Etsy soon. Can't go wrong with bots. I don't want those horror movie icons on other shops. Yeah. We can do prints. We can do prints at some point. We'll just have to look into that at some point. I think I have a few local printers up in here, so I might just go check them out. Might be cheaper to do that way. But yeah, I could probably do like a little poster of all 5 of the team members. Be kind of cool. But yeah, if people want it, I'll make it. So. Just kind of blend these colors together. Just fill it in. Make it all make sense. So it's gonna be my small collection of print to the wall behind me for streaming. Yeah, yeah. Don't know if people would want to see me my background. Well, maybe some people would, but it's usually messy. So that I only have one camera, so I think people would prefer to see my drawing than my lovely face. All right. Hey, the red's kind of popping up pretty good. All right. So some shadows going. I usually like to use copper for my shadows for when I do reds. But I think for here I might need to use a cool gray. Maybe a 7, maybe a 5. And as Tabitha's and your are the only art streams I keep going back to. Oh, nice. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Definitely feel honored to be included, being compared to Anna and Tabitha. This guy's on his last legs here. Using my cool grays too much. Give me more shades. Yeah. Now I'll top it up. Nope, that doesn't feel good. Let's see, C7. Some quick refill here. Should I do it away from the canvas or paper? Yeah, tell how much is in there. Okay, kind of see it. Okay. Yeah, it's gotta be really careful when you refill your markers because they can actually explode on you. I can understand that. but or not, as Megatron is putting bots in his shot nut. All right, what? What's okay? What is this horror movie icon stuff? Is there a okay? I don't know. Yeah, I do Transformers and Hot Chicks. That's what I draw most of the time. So that's what you'll probably see on the Etsy shop. Think about doing more than just Transformers on there. I think I could probably do some Disney stuff, some Marvel, DC, you know, things on there as well. But right now we're just kind of focused on Transformers because that's what I like to draw. There we go. Just making sure I'm not oozing everywhere. Okay. And then I'll come back in with I'll do this. Do a little bit more of a pinkish red here, almost. Just add a bit of a vibe to it all. Not pinkish red, it's like a, what is it? Dog rose flower. What the fuck kind of color is that? It's the dumbest color and name ever. All right. Dog rose flower. Let's do it. Yeah. All right. For me, comparatively, horror icons would be Michael Bay Transformers. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that name. You can't see it. It's that bad of a name. It doesn't want to show up. Dog flower, red rose flower. Who the hell comes up with these names? I want to speak to your manager. Just ask him why. I'm confused. Well, even as a dumbass name for a marker, it gives me good results here. Kind of helps add a vibrance to the reds here. And you kind of want to make sure the Transformers there, the colors kind of pop out. You don't want it to be dull looking. Not too worried about the edges here because it's going to be I'm not doing any sort of background for this one. It's going to be plain white, so it'll be easier that way to do the stickers. So the way the sticker program kind of works, it kind of cuts out the shape of the drawing for you. So then prints it off and sends it out to you. So. Yeah, got a lot of ideas actually now because Yarn Witch kind of got me on doing a little Grimlock piece, which is a Grimlock 2028 piece. So this one right here, which was this one. So now obviously I left this kind of blank here because I wanted to use a more proper looking logo or banner on the computer. So I just kind of left this area sort of blank here. This is what it kind of looks like now. So Grimlock for president. That's what we're doing here. So I was kind of inspired by Yarn Witch the other day. So almost will turn out to be like a button or something like that. For real, I actually would vote for a Grimlock for anything. Yeah, I love Young Witch. They're good people there. A lot of fun. Just like really positive people. Yeah. Over. Yeah. A lot of people nowadays on the internet are just very, very they can be very, very not so positive. Let's put it that way. Especially in a lot of these like spaces now. It's a lot of drama, a lot of angst and all that. Yeah. All right. That's good enough. But I like on this about as much as I like Prime. Same here. Yeah. For me, my favorite Autobots are definitely Prime and like Grimlock. It's always gonna have a battle between those two, depending on my mood. All right, that's it for the reds actually. I think I'll do the blacks next, and I'll do the yellows because I want to get the more louder colors done first. So those. I'll start off with you. Just gonna map out the black areas. Isn't too much actually. Just the top there. So let me black that on entirely there. But just so I know which areas need to be filled with black. Just do a little bit of a and then girl got two if the three best leaders in the Autobots. I agree. Kind of lead to one, yeah. I'd say the best leaders in the Autobots would be Prime, Grimlock, Leader One, Ultra Magnus. I guess Rodimus. He was okay as a leader. He was kind of a little bit too flimsy, too on and off as a leader because he's always kind of looking for excuse. Kind of says like in some of the episodes where they brought Prime back, it kind of felt like he was just like looking for an excuse to just like forego responsibility and all that. Which I get, he's kind of a youngster and all that, but he is a good leader when he wants to be, though. I'll give him that. Then I think a Silverbolt would make a good leader for the Autobots. Ironhide always made a good leader as well. Whenever Prime was down. So Gorilla did actually save the universe in a few episodes as well, like in that one episode where they're fighting in the Call of Primitives episode. You know, they're fighting that one alien dude and the nerd, whatever it was. He was like fucking up people in the universe, and Grimlock was like the only one at that point who could actually stop him. So love Grimlock, love Grimlock. You have Fordo Magnus, but Hot Rod doesn't make the top 10 as that works. Put him. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love the whole episode though, the Aerial Bots episode where, yeah, there's a really good lesson really that Prime kind of gave him, or rather not really a lesson, but it was a good sort of strategy on how to get someone to overcome their fear. Because the whole thing with the Aerial Bot, or rather with specifically Silver Bull, was that he had a fear of heights. You know, like that's what, because at first, because when he was brought online, he in a previous life he was a car or something like that, or some sort of carrier vehicle or whatever. He was never a flying vehicle, and so Prime kind of notices this in the episodes. You know, he kind of sees that he's having trouble with like flying and stuff like that. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to let you be the leader of the aerial bots because that's going to give you something more important to think about. You know, I was like, that's a good lesson to kind of learn, because like if you put your mind towards something that's more important than your fears, then your fears will eventually cancel out because you'll know what to do. You'll have the confidence to overcome it and all that. It's really good lessons there, I felt like. And it was just really, really cool to see Autobots having their own like flying characters. I mean, they had some flying characters like Swoop and Power Glide and Omega Supreme and all that, but they didn't really have a whole lot of like flying, and Jetfire too. But it was kind of nice to kind of see some Autobots that can actually take to the skies and have dog fights with the other Seekers and all that. Well, on a regular basis, yeah. Yeah, because that's what made Optimus Prime a good leader, because he knows how to bring the best out of other people. And let's do a reds, because we did the reds on the highlights for the black areas on Dive Bomb and Razor Claw, and I really liked the way that looked. It was kind of like just like this, I don't know, it just kind of gives it a more primal sort of a vibe, So we're kind of continue that sort of a trend here with the Rampage. He's a prime problem solver. Yeah, exactly. All right. I think I'll bring back the blacks just a little bit. And we'll be done with the blacks, actually. Not a whole lot of black on this guy, so yeah, I do love the black sort of highlights on the red highlights on the blacks. There it is. I think this is going to be how I colored them when I do the comic books. I really love the way it looks. Just adds that sort of a primal vibe, primal sort of a feel to them, I guess. All right, I think that's it for the blacks here. I'm going to do a quick run through with the BB25. I'll move on to the yellows, and then that'll be it. Because he's not a whole lot, doesn't have a whole lot of different colors. He's kind of in the same sort of a color family as a lot of other. Because I kind of consider red, yellows, and oranges in the same sort of color family, even though they're obviously a lot different. They are very, very similar colors. You know. So I kind of lump them into one because I use them a lot. Because I mix like yellows and reds and oranges a lot, you know. So, but yeah, this would be it for the black areas. See the yellows and a little bit of the purple. I just forgot the little symbol here. So I think for the mouth, because I think it has yellow eyes, so might just be similar to dive bomb, or so I want to make it a little bit more lively and just having the same color for the eyes and the mouth, because it is kind of a I think we'll have just like a more of an orangey sort of brighter or maybe a little bit darker sort of yellow for the eyes, and keep the face part all yellow or bright yellow here. And actually, I think a gold for the mouth plate better. I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I think I might do that. It's funny, but there's a toy soldier unit that had almost the same paint job called Air Raiders. If you look them up on your phone, you'll see. Well, I have them, so yeah. Yeah, have to look that up. Okay. Let's grab YR31. Oh shit. Who's out? Loft for you. What is happening to you? Yeah, the mask is gonna be gold. So yeah, I think that'd be a really sharp look because it'll have a brighter yellow for the eyes, like a little bit of an orangey sort of vibe, not too much orange, just enough, I think, to kind of have a difference. But yeah, I think that'll be a really sharp look for a Rampage here. Yeah. That way the face kind of pops out a bit more, you know. Just lost in like one blank color. Right. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Not a super shiny gold, but kind of like a more muted gold, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was good. You know, he kind of reminds me of that one character from Teen Titans. What's his name? Adonis or something like that. Like that big dude who's like a gamer or whatever. Became not Adonis, not Adonis, like the other guy. What was his name? He was like the big, like red, yellow dude who was like trying to play games. Like he was trying to beat Cyborg in a video game or whatever. That's what kind of reminded me of now. That's just a little bit of a warm gray to him. Okay, we'll do the eyes. Start with the Y19. Real funny. Very, very similar to the dive bomb eyes, but a little bit lighter shade. Yeah, it will be a lot of fun to actually draw these guys as they're like animal forms, I think. I imagine I'll definitely be looking at a lot of like, actual like animals, like actual like lions and tigers, the way they move, the way they pounce and all that. It'd be a lot of fun. All right. Fly away, you're up. It's a good episode, as most were. Yeah. Yeah. It was one of those goofier episodes, but it was a good one, though. I can't remember that character's name for the life of me. He was the guy who tried to challenge Cyborg to a big old video game contest or whatever it was. And I might just add a little touch of orange here. Not a whole lot. Yeah. Just a little bit. All right. That's it. 440. Not too bad time frame here. Oh, wrong fucking marker. Okay. Some purple. Do the symbols. Which are just kind of little shapes. Oh, there's a little bit on there I need to grab. There. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, there's our Rampage here. Pretty much done. Just need to go back and do the touch-ups. But yeah. Just see. Just see if I missed anything. No, that's good. Let's do a really quick signage. Do red. Yeah. All right. There's our Rampage. Pretty much done. Just need to go back and touch up details. You know, kind of just polish it up a bit more. You know, but yeah, there's our Rampage. And I'll just pull out the other boys. So we got the Razor Claw right here, which we did a few weeks ago. We got the Tantrum that's waiting for colors and inks. And then we got Dive Bomb, which we did last time. So really like the way this guy turned out. You know, I just love the orange on him. And then we have Headstrong doing a little dance pose. Not dance, but you know, he's like just sliding in, you know, he's ready for battle. And then we have the Grimlock, which everyone liked. So I will be touching up this actually, the whole box here. So I want to do the design for this part in particular on the computer, but yeah, really like the way that turned out. So that's all good. So we got 3 down and 3 more to go. So that was a really fun one. Actually, I enjoyed this one. It was yeah. So as a quick reminder, so if you go onto my Etsy shop, I just got these new coasters in, 9 available for each. So if you want, go buy them. I'll send them out to you Monday. So if you order them on the weekend, I usually send them out on the Monday. So because I like to make sure everything's kind of I like to make sure I like to wait until the weekend's over before I send things out that way. You know, just get it all done in one swoop if more people buy stuff. So, but on that note, I think I'm gonna call it a wrap here, guys. Just gonna go back. Just gonna take a little break. Then I'll just come back later on to touch him up, make him look more pretty, and then he'll be done. He'll be done and ready to go, and then we can move on to bigger and better things. So on that note, I think I'll call it a wrap here, guys. So all right. But before we leave, I just want to make a big give a big thanks to Grumpy Old Ninja for dropping by. Conroy, good to see you, man. And thank you so much for buying the stickers. Really appreciate that. And Stig for hanging out with me, and Jedi Master 2022. And that's everybody. So yeah, if you go to the link up top here, my Etsy shop there, you can buy coasters, the stickers, all there. So, and if you want all 5, you actually would want to go there really quick because I have only 3 sets of the full set to be sold here, so I have just 3 left. I split them up all into different like batches and all that. So just to make things easier for me to kind of keep track of everything. So, but yeah, I just added a new bundle option actually, which is going to be this one right here. So we have the Dinobot 2-pack, which is the War of the Dinobots 2-pack, which comes with Slag with Swoop and Snarl. It's kind of a reference to the original cartoon where they were first introduced. And then we have SOS Dinobots, which comes with 3, which is going to be the Slag, Sludge, and Grimlock 3-pack. So there's 4 of the War, and so there's the 4 of the 2-pack, and there's 3 of the 3-pack. So yeah, you might want to grab those while you can. And then as for singles, I'll grab those real quick. Just show them off. And so for Slag, I have 5 of the singles. Grimlock has 4. Or actually 5, because there's 1 that's on discount right now because it came a little bit damaged. There's 5 Grimlocks in total, technically speaking. And then 6 Sludges, and then 5 Swoops and 5 Snarls. So, yeah. Just a quick little show off there. Well, I might actually reorganize this a little bit in a minute, but just make things easier for me. But yeah, so good problem to have, yeah. Yeah, folks. Yeah. So go buy some more stickers up in there. So they are all ready to go. And actually, real quickly, I'll just show off how they get kind of packaged so that you guys can kind of rest easy, so to speak. So they come out in this sort of thing. So I have in the plastic bag, and then this gets taped to or stapled to another little sort of a cardstock thing that kind of keeps it nice and secure. And then I put that in an envelope, and that envelope gets put into the bubble mailer. So yeah, you won't have any issues with these guys bending or nothing. Or getting wet because of the bubble mailers, because it kind of protects the contents on the inside. So just a quick little thing there. And obviously the coasters are right here. So I have them all in this like little container I got from Michael's. It's very useful. So yeah, that's it for my shilling from my Etsy shop. And I'll do a quick little promo video at the end here real quick. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I should be back this weekend for another draw stream, which we'll probably be doing the Tantrum next. Just get them out of the way. Or maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll do both Headstrong and Tantrum. We'll see if I am up for the challenge. So, but yeah, there's our Rampage. So gonna be turning, and also that they're gonna be turned into stickers as well. So once I get all 6 of them done, I'll have them up in the shop as well. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So on that note, someone else, G2, no, good, no. I'll pop back through. Yeah. So on that note, I will see you guys around. So let's see. Try to find a clip I want to end this off on. I think we'll do. God, I need more Dinobot clips for real. I'm doing all this stuff for Dinobots and Predacons. I don't have any blurbs of those characters, so I'm bad at marketing. So, yeah, we'll just do this one. So we'll do Drunk Decepticons because that's how I feel right now. So, but yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next weekend. Take care.
Decepticons, a toast to the imminent destruction of the accursed Autobots.
Boy, these are good.
This stuff's the greatest. Those were the good old days back on Cybertron. Didn't have to sneak around in these ugly Earth disguises. Good old Cybertron, land of the metal moon.